The New England Patriots find hope for a bright future in their loss to the Houston Texans. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out content to people just like you who love Patriots football. So today what we're going to be talking about is the loss to the Houston Texans, which sucks. But at the same time, we need to take it with a grain of salt. We understand this team is rebuilding. So we're going to talk about the good things that happened during the game as well. We're going to talk about the things that greatly, desperately, shooting a flare up into the air, need help with. So we're going to start. If you've seen any of my episodes, we always start positive and then we move forward. So first and foremost, we need to talk about Drake Maye. Week after week, I've been talking about Drake Maye needs to get into the football game. He is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. He has a bunch of different tangibles that will help this team win and help this team offensively move the ball down the field. And he proved that very thing today. Now, off the bat, I'm going to tell you this without even explaining it. I'm going to give you a grade for for Drake Maye. Jacoby Brissett, come on now. He was on the bench. I'm not going to grade him for sitting on the bench. So, Drake Maye, I'm going to give you a grade, and then I'm going to break it down why I gave him that grade. So my grade for Drake Maye, first start of his NFL career, is going to be a B+. All right? Comment below, before we even go into it, comment below. Tell me, what do you think you give Drake Maye as a grade? Break it down. Give your defense for it. I want to hear it. So Drake Maye, when it comes down to it, let's jump into his stats, was 20 of 33, 243 yards, average almost 7.5 yards. And then here's the big one right here. 3 touchdown passes to Pop, to Henry, and to Booty, my fault. And so, which was great. On top of that, throwing for over 200 yards. I should not be excited about that, but I am. Drake Maye came in, and I honestly believe he showed a lot of people, hey, there's a reason I was picked 3rd overall. There's a reason other teams wanted me. There's a reason that I'm going to be the face of this franchise. Case in point. He goes in there. He was much, much more mobile than Jacoby Brissett. That also shows by he led the team in rushing, which we'll get to that as well. But he had 5 carries, 38 yards, much more mobile, much more creative in the pocket. As well, he was not afraid to throw the ball downfield. He had that first touchdown pass of his career was unreal to Boutte. It was right down the sideline, beautiful, right in the basket. It literally chills. Started screaming, and I was like, hey, they could come back. And sure enough, that didn't happen either. But anyways, that I think people saw that, and my phone blew up. I had all these texts, and regardless if they won or lost, seeing that and knowing, hey, this guy has it. He has it. He showed that today. Again, there was mistakes, and that's the reason that I gave him a B+ rating. He only has room to grow. And so his first interception was rough. He let the ball sail. Safety got the pick, not good. I will say his fumble, not necessarily his fault. That line was collapsing and wasn't looking good. Could have potentially tried to get out, but even that interior line was collapsing. It was rough. As well, the second interception, not necessarily, the ball was tipped. That's a rough one. So you can't put that all totally on him. But again, saw some good points, saw some rougher points that you could tell, like, hey, he's a rookie. He was throwing behind receivers at times. There was a point where Pop had a post route that if he would have led in front of him, he would have scored right off the bat. That was where Hunter Henry scored. But again, he showed us he can give a spark to this offense, and that is what we need. I am convinced, I'm going to say this right now, I am convinced that the New England Patriots would at worst be 2-4, if not 3-3 right now if Drake Maye would have started the season. Again, Jacoby Brissett was not the answer. Jacoby Brissett was the safe bet. Stop saying Jacoby Brissett. But it was, hey, we're going to play it close to the chest. We want to be careful with this guy. And again, we need to understand Elliott Wolf and Gerard Mayo, Drake Maye is their legacy. It comes down, if he is a bust, they're gone. That is as simple as that. It's not too hard. So again, Drake Maye, here's what he brings to the table: mobility, much better decision making, and willing to throw the ball downfield, much better pocket presence. Again, even much stronger arm than Jacoby Brissett. And when you see all of those different things, you realize in that game, especially after that first touchdown pass, I immediately said, he is the future. He is the future of the New England Patriots. So there is hope. Again, even though they lost today and it sucked, and there was moments in this game, and we'll talk about it, where it was like they could have been in that game. They could have been in it against a tough Texans team. Drake Maye went out there against one of the better defenses in the NFL and had this performance. You got to tip your hat to him. Again, I give him a B+ rating. What do you guys give him? Comment below. I want to hear from you. So besides Drake Maye, what was tough? Ramondre Stevenson not playing. Really rough on the run game. They really stifled the run game. It could not get anything going. Antonio Gibson was absolutely abused, and it was not fun to watch him. I felt like every time he got the ball, he was just getting wrecked. So that was tough. Again, the offensive line, it was the 6th week in a row. It was someone else. It was something new with this offensive line. Nick Leverett was benched. Ben Brown got the start. Lowe ended up getting out. Zach Thomas, who is a player that was picked up as well, he was thrown in there at tackle. Traditionally, he's more of a guard, but he's a pretty versatile lineman. Big reason they picked him up. But I will tell you this offensive line had moments where they created a decent pocket that Drake Maye could pass in. He had time. There's plenty of time. I was like, wow, that's what an offense looks like. Case in point. And then really during the run game, there was times it was just like, I don't know if we know our blocking assignments, what's going on, and we were just overwhelmed by their defensive line as well as the blitz packages they were throwing at us. So, and again, we already know that the offensive line is going to be the number one issue when it comes to the offseason, when it comes to the draft, or whatever it might be. And if those things can get put together, then I think this team has a ton of potential. Again, defensively, the defense was put in a lot of awkward situations. You say, well, Aaron, listen, they gave up 41 points. Yes, that's true, but how many turnovers did the Patriots have? They had 4. You had 2 interceptions by Drake Maye. You had a fumble by Drake Maye, and then Austin Hooper, was being a little careless with the ball, trying to advance the ball. I'll give him that, but fumbled the ball. And many of those ended up being in Patriots territory, and then they just turned around and scored. So it was tough for a team that's going against a high potent offense with C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs, and these other players. So again, as a whole, the Patriots, I wouldn't give them a B+, but again, they had their moments where they're in this game. If the turnovers were the other way around, or even just take a couple turnovers away, this game I think is a little closer. And so again, offensive line will be something that will be figured out as well. A couple just random notes I want to throw in. Wide receivers, love seeing Pop get the ball more. He is exciting to watch. It was great. You look at this spread of the targets and receptions that people had. Looks a lot better than when Jacoby was out there. Again, we have someone in Drake Maye that has a lot of promise, and we should have a lot of hope and a bright future for him. Shout out to Terrell Jennings. He got elevated from the practice squad. His mom is a regular watcher of this channel. What's up? And excited your son got in there. And another thing I want to point out, gotcha on that interior defensive line. Awesome job. He was a beast today. Think of him and Barmore, that two-headed monster right there. Unreal if he comes back. Christian Gonzalez, I think at times held his own against a great wide receiver in Stephon Diggs. He has been tested a lot this year. He had his good moments. He had some rough moments, giving a little too much cushion to Stephon Diggs at times. And again, you can see that shows he was six receptions, 77 yards. As more stats come out, I know one of those touchdowns, the touchdown, I believe he was the one who gave up. But Jaquelin Roy, 2 games in a row, he has a sack. He was someone who's picked up just randomly, I believe, a couple weeks ago, just to kind of help this defensive line. So that was awesome to see. Again, am I saying the Patriots are going to go make the playoffs? No. Am I saying the Patriots, they will be probably a top 5, top 3 pick, 100%. But I do think down the road, they are only going to get better, and they're going to have opportunities to they're going to put themselves in winning opportunities. And I think with Drake Maye at the helm, I think they are going to push it over the edge and win some of these games coming up. Again, you got to remember they play the Tennessee Titans. Again, they play they're going to play the Dolphins again. That was a game that was close as well. The Jets. I really think Aaron Rodgers was just in his he was playing to his peak ability. If he's not playing up to his top ability, I don't think they're going to come out like that. So again, tough loss. But we got to take it with a grain of salt and look at it for the future and look at Drake Maye. Again, comment. What do you think? Truly appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button. Drake Maye rocks. Peace.